no music, no nothing. We got a lot of conversations for y'all.
So Terry said, "Oh, I thought you were married," and you said, "What?"
I said he trying to recruit. All right, let's back up for our audience. Hey y'all, welcome to the Real with Mind Real Talk Radio Show.
This is real. Keep it real.
Wait. We welcome in the audience to the Real Talk Radio Show.
To a real adult conversation. Terry said, "I thought you were married."
No, Stacey, you missed the conversation before because you came in a little late. So we gotta rewind it and back it up.
Yeah, there was something that led up to that.
Thank you to everybody who's tuning in right now. Yo, we got some interesting adult conversation.
And it's real conversation. This is what happens with adults when they talk. Sometimes it's not scripted. It's unexpected. So let's play it. Real. And listen, as they're talking to the real brothers. This is how we do. Right. Yeah. So what were you saying? So what were you saying?
So how we got to this point is so they were asking about one of the topics that we may discuss tonight, which is on
mutual non-monogamy. It's like
non-monogamy. Okay.
Non-monogamy. So this is a concept that's
plural.
Right, exactly.
And then what I had said was that, me and my partner, we're looking for a third party that would fit into our lifestyle.
Now I understand the question.
No, but listen.
Now you understand, right. See, that's why I said you was late to the party. So
and they had asked me if I was
Muslim,
right? But I'm not, I'm spiritual, not religious.
Right.
But I said, Muslims aren't the only culture that, believe in or allows polygamy.
Correct.
So that's when I had asked, and Lynette had said something about being single, and I was like, oh, wait a minute, I didn't know Lynette was. I thought both you guys were married. You know what I mean?
Franchella's married.
That puts a whole new spin on it. Yeah, so I'm finding this out late.
Now you about to be North Philly TL.
I'm finding that out late in the game, but I hope we can get into that topic and see where.
Yeah, let's get right in. Let's get right into it.
Right. The question was, how do y'all feel about it? So my question was, I was talking to someone I know, and we were talking about dating and relationships and marriage and how they have changed from, or at least it's now more openly talked about. So maybe not necessarily changed, but now it's more openly talked about, and that's that mutual non-monogamy, where it's either in a relationship or a marriage, even though that's not. We're not gonna go in there, but anyway, it's not the traditional. I'll say that it's not the traditional type of structure for a relationship or a marriage to be non-monogamous. Most people or some people want that exclusivity,
right?
So how do y'all feel about that? Is it right? Is it wrong? Is it different? Is it not right or wrong? Is it just preference? Let's talk about it.
You know what? Okay, I'll go first. I don't know if Terry already responded to it, but I don't think it would. I think that relationships and those types of issues are up to each individual and each individual couple. So there is no right or wrong. It's not for me to judge. Now, is it my preference? No. I think that as it relates to that, I would be one of those old school traditional selfish dudes. I don't want that. I think. Let me rephrase that. I think I would struggle with that. I think I would struggle.
Which part would you have a problem with? Are you referring to your significant other, dealing with another male?
You know what?
Are you talking about like having two female partners?
I think that I would struggle with a woman that I really liked and that I was dealing and I was dealing with another man. I would struggle with that.
Well,
The
would
other
you
way-
do it as
the
a
other way
man
you were
with
okay
two
with it.
women?
A who? A man with
Would
two.
you?
Well, see, okay, well,
This is double standard.
well, no. I have no desire for that.
Okay.
I have no desire for that. So again, it's not up to me to say whether two women were interested. I have no desire for that. But as far as sharing a woman that I truly care about with someone else, I don't think that doesn't sound like something I would be interested in.
Right. I wouldn't want to share my partner either. What
Whoa,
the
whoa, 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 whoa,
Whoa,
whoa.
whoa, whoa.
Yeah, Nike. Hey, Nike, you
You
stepped
don't
in
want
it.
to share your partner, but you want your partner to share you.
yes.
Okay, so
Because
that's the double standard part.
and
Elaborate.
the reasoning for that is I just feel like if I am the man in the relationship and I am if I am the queen, if I am the king and my partner is a queen and my other partner is a queen, I believe that we can coexist without, because I tell you this, a person in polygamy has no reason to cheat on his partner, right?
True.
And in this economic climate, right, it takes more than one income. So the more incomes you have in a household, the better the better lifestyle you can have. The better, if you have all three people building something, coming to the table and making strides to go towards the same goals, that can work, but there has to be an adult understanding and a relationship, not just between the male and the female, but also between the female and the female.
Everybody involved.
Right.
Hold up. I did ask you earlier. I said, "Are you Muslim?" Right? But now, and you answered that. But at least in the Muslim religion, with that, the king is to take care of all the queens, even though he has more than one wife. His job is to take care of all of them. Am I hearing you saying that you want your queens to contribute as well to the household?
Right. Why wouldn't that? Why? Like, what would be
because I would think
what would be detrimental to a queen contributing to her household?
Well,
I'm not saying I want women to take care of me. I make enough money to take care of whoever I deal with, but that's not actually the point.
If I'm going to share my king with somebody else, the king going to take care of me. I shouldn't have to do nothing.
Why? Where does that come from?
Well, I think what she said.
Why what makes you think that? Why wouldn't you want to contribute if your king had another say queen or another person in the relationship? Why wouldn't everybody contribute something? I'm not saying they have to contribute in equal amounts. But if you have a house, like for instance, what we're looking for is a person. It's
no,
not
I'm not frozen. I'm looking like what?
Wait. Let me finish. It's not actually a sexual thing, right?
Right.
It's like, for instance, like I said, in this economy, for you to live better, you have to have more. You have
income.
to have more.
Yeah. More income,
economic resources, right?
Yeah.
So if you like to travel, if you like to eat out a lot, if you like to go to shows, or if you like to do whatever, it's more conducive the more income you have, right? So I'm not saying that I'm expecting I got two women now, I'm quitting my job. No, that's what I'm saying is
after y'all finish, I would love to chime in.
Please chime in.
No, go ahead. I said after.
No, I'm just saying, that most people look at it as a sexual thing, and
right.
Franchella said, "Oh, if my man going to do that, then I'm just going." But what, like, wouldn't you want to contribute to a house to the household?
No.
And
No.
all right.
And well, if you
Let
think
me
about
get my turn.
Okay, Lynette.
Let me get a turn. I'm like the double dutch, ready to.
Go ahead, Lynette. I definitely want to hear what your thoughts. I definitely want to hear your thoughts now.
So I was approached by a Muslim guy who has 3 wives, who asked me to be the 4th wife. Absolutely not, I told him. I share the same sentiments as Stacy. You know, I don't want to say it's selfish, but I want my person. I don't want somebody else's person and mine. To me, that's just not, and it don't have to be sexual. And he shared the same thing that you did about the income, and you have more resources, and he said the same thing. However, if we got to get 2 jobs, then we got to get 2 jobs. Like, we're not going to get 2 women. We're going to get 2 jobs. We're going to make, for me, we're going to do what we have to do for us, not for.
If you're working 2 jobs, when would you spend quality time with your man?
We would figure it out, just like we do everything else. We would have to figure it out. I don't want to put my lips on somebody who I know had their lips on somebody else. I don't want to put my vagina.
Whoever you put your lips on.
I don't want to put my vagina
somebody else.
Somebody's penis that is communal property inside of my vagina. I personally don't want to do it. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with people who do, but me personally, my heart ain't built like that. I can't look at you and watch you make love to somebody else right in front of my face. That would tear me apart emotionally.
But what about if you were if you all were making love together?
That's not. That still don't. I would still be torn apart.
Or if you're in your room.
The part that I don't understand, the part that I'm trying to understand that I don't understand is, why do we live in a society where we think we have to have it all? We think we have to have it all, but we're not all. We think we got to have everything, but we're not everything. And as a result, sometimes we make these decisions, and right, wrong, and indifferent, but we make these decisions that have an impact that we don't really think about until
having a man all to yourself. Isn't that having it all?
All to me? What do you mean?
What she's saying is that
why did the society think you have to have it all?
Right.
And that's my point too. So when you say, why does the society have to have it all?
Right.
Why do you have to when you have a man, right? Why do you have to have it all? Why can't
it ain't all? That ain't all.
Yeah, that's
the man is not all.
That is all.
No, it's not.
What do you? Maybe I'm lost.
There's more to life than just having that man. So that's not all. But I'm okay with that, which means I don't have to. Which means I don't have to have it all. I'm satisfied. I can be satisfied and content with not having it all, because I'm okay with me, who I am.
Right.
And to go back to what Franchella said when she first started, she said in the Islamic religion, when they're talking about having more than one, in that religion, the king, and that's to use your term, takes care of the queens financially. Right. That's why Franchella said, when you asked her if she would want to work, she's saying no. If I'm going to have a king that's going to have more than one wife, then looking at it from that perspective, that king takes care of everything. So right. I'm not so it's Franchella.
Absolutely correct.
No, but you disagree with her. You said no. You still
disagree with her.
Let me, okay, well, then correct me where I went wrong. Franchella said she would not want to work, and you said, why not? Wouldn't you want to work also? She said no, not if I have a king with 2 wives. And if you're looking at it from the Islamic tradition that you brought up, TL, the king is supposed to take care of the wives so that the wife can stay home and raise the family.
Exactly.
First, I didn't bring up the Islamic tradition. That's first.
Right.
And second,
No, he did.
what I was saying was, wouldn't you like to contribute to the lifestyle of the household? So if I'm working and I'm taking care of all the bills and I'm taking care of the mortgage, the electric, the gas, the just all of the bills in general, why wouldn't you want to go work? And then if we say, oh,
Just to help out.
you know what, let's take a trip, let's go to
Right.
Cancun, or let's go to whatever.
No, I'm already sharing you. So I'm not contributing anything. I'm sitting back and because you enjoying the fruits of your labor.
Right.
And watching, Housewives of Atlanta. Like, no, I'm not contributing to nothing. You having your cake and you eat it too.
And she want her cake. That's the
right?
exchange.
No, I do understand what Terry's saying, though. Go ahead.
Polygamy is all about attitude as well, right? So I'm not being like
go ahead,
rude or anything like that, but Franchella specifically, like that lifestyle wouldn't work for you just because you don't strike me as the submissive type of wife or housewife, right? You strike me more as there's a battle for the pants and I don't know.
No more combative.
I don't know,
right.
But that's the impression that I get.
But that's why it takes people who agree to that type of lifestyle. That's why, to your point, it would take a mutual agreement and a mutual understanding for people that's in that type of lifestyle. So we're just talking about our preference. That's just like you're talking about.
And I personally look at it as three things. One is just a total freak, right? Two is this is my opinion. Two is, as far as the women is concerned, very low self-esteem. They can't find a man to themselves, so they got to share it. And now I can't think of the third thing, but it's like that. That would be a reason why a woman would go in that type of relationship.
But I think that's applying our standards to the institution of this type of understanding and relationship, because in a society when that's done, it's it's not going to be viewed that way because it's the way that society works. Those women aren't going to say, I'm not going to do that because I need to have my own or whatever, or I have low self-esteem. So I don't know, or I don't think that agreeing to something like that automatically equates to what you said, Franchella, as far as a woman that has low self-esteem. Well, there are some people that will say, you know what? And just looking at the numbers, there are many more women than there are men. So if there's one,
if you gotta sleep with that woman, with that man, then get your ass a woman. Like, hey, there's statistics.
You lost that one, Franchella.
No, TL, I'm telling you, you put yourself down that path. That woman or your original woman might like that other woman, and then they're gonna leave you behind. And
you can't go into it.
First of all,
we're talking about the institution, though, Franchella.
First of all, I don't live in fear.
Right.
So my thing is, if they leave,
then
then that's on them, and then good for them if they leave. But I'm still going. I'm like, I love myself. And somebody, just because if they wanted to be together, that's fine. Like, I wouldn't stop them. What I'm saying is, all right. I'll give you for instance.
I have a question.
When I went,
so do I.
All right, go ahead.
Go ahead, Nike. Go ahead. You want to finish your thought?
Well, I was trying. So when I went to Dubai, Franchella, you said women that are okay with polygamous relationships have low self-esteem. Well, when I went to Dubai, I met a couple of people that had well, both of them had 2 wives. I don't think the other guy had 3, but their women were submissive and they seemed happy. There was no, I didn't see any kind of
because the stigmatism wasn't there.
Yeah, because there was no that's a normal thing over there.
Right.
So, you know, when I went over there and I saw that, I'm like, man, that's love.
But is the king taking care of all the household over there as well? I mean,
I'm sure.
Like, I don't know their financial setup.
I'm sure he is.
But
right.
You know,
that's a key factor right there. That's a key factor.
And that's what they say though.
I'm making enough to take care of who
and if you don't have a frame of reference,
if it's just financial, then like how
if you don't have a frame of reference and that's the norm for you, of course you would seem happier. Of course you would seem happy because you haven't seen the other side. This is all.
It has nothing to do with self-esteem. That
I don't. I agree with
self-esteem. That's an American point of view.
Right. That's why I said they wouldn't have a frame of reference. If it's an American point of view, they wouldn't have a frame of reference. And
they don't know nothing else. Then
that's my point. That's their tradition. So they're not comparing it to anything else. Like we.
Well, that doesn't mean that they have low self-esteem, though.
Well, I have a question.
How do you know that? You're assuming.
I said not just
in her opinion.
I also this right. My opinion. I said I feel as though it's either low self-esteem or they're just freaks. Period. Like that's what they want to get into. That's my opinion of people who decide that they want to do that. Now I understand. Now TL, I'm hearing what you're saying about the financial part of it. So, but then on the flip side, before that, you said no, you wouldn't want to share your woman. So why can't she bring in another man?
Right. That's what I think that's the challenge.
He don't want it to be 2 kings. He wanted to be 1 king.
It can only be 1 king.
Yeah, but Terry, but then I think what you do though with that though, you open yourself up. But like, let me say this though,
society that you're in, there's never more.
And then we got more questions to get to. So
yeah, but Terry, but the downside is 2 things, and I was gonna ask that question as Franchella just asked, but then Terry, your response kind of goes deeper into that. You said there can only be 1 king. Then it says who? Then you said based on society, but then now the circle comes full circle. Listen, let me finish. Okay, well then why can't there be 2 kings?
Because they in any culture that you go
to, culture, culture.
Let me finish.
Okay.
Any culture that you go to, any village that you go to, any municipality or whatever, there's only 1 king. Right?
So again, so you're talking about culturally, but remember this whole thing came about because you said it's the American culture that says that only having one wife is the norm. And you said we can't apply that culture. Listen, we can't apply the American culture to all cultures because only the American culture says 1 wife. Other cultures says that it's okay to have 2 wives, right? So who's to say that having 1 king, and I don't agree with it, but who's to say that the culture of having 1 king is the correct culture? You know what I mean? So basically,
because it is.
But you just
I think that it works for him and his personal preference, but I don't think that he can speak for society in general.
I'm not speaking for society. I'm speaking for me.
But that's what I just said. I think it's based on his personal preference.
There can only be 1 king. There can only be 1 king in this
castle.
This castle.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
All right. Well, we're gonna move on to the next topic. So we agree to disagree that the 3 of us, one of these kids is doing his own thing. One thing is definitely not for me. So anybody out there watching this, don't get no ideas because y'all already know I don't like sharing. Anyway, go ahead.
No, that's what I was going to say. One thing for certain.
Change your life.
Ooh.
I won't even try it.
I
won't even try it.
That's okay. That's good.
And you still got to work? I don't think so.
Oh, no, trust me. I'm with you on that one. Look, my work is in the bedroom. That's it. Stop. That's it.
So that's the only contribution you would make is in the bedroom.
That's the only contribution I would give under those circumstances. Absolutely. But I would never put myself in that situation
and
because
raising the
my
house.
heart can't take it. So in align with this is still, so thank y'all for your contribution. And everybody does what they do, right? So in light of this, do we want to go into the debate, or do we want to still stay on the topic of Diddy and those women, the women that like, let's stay on that. So one of the questions that I want to ask each of y'all, and if we could allow each other the time to express ourselves, right, wrong, or indifferent, with the Diddy situation, we're all aware of the allegations and him being locked up for numerous accounts, human trafficking being one of them. So I want to hear from the men first, from a male perspective. The women that are involved, right? The women that have been coming out, whatever. For those women who have been victimized and then re-victimized, do you think that, how do you feel about that? Like, I don't want to say too much because I don't want to give you my opinion, but how do you, in those circumstances where it's the same woman over and over again, how do you feel about that? R. Kelly, Bill Cosby, with Hugh Hefner, and nobody talks about Hugh Hefner, but go ahead.
Exactly. Terry, you want to go first, man?
No, you go ahead.
A couple things, and I'm going to tie it into what Franchella said earlier on. I'm referring to you a lot, Franchella. There are people out here, which we all know, that are freaks, and there's nothing wrong with that, because freakiness is in the eyes of the beholder. What two people, or even a group of people, if I want to have an orgy in my apartment amongst consenting adults, that is no one's business. There's nothing wrong with that. It's in the eyes of the beholder. I think the part that I struggle is when it comes to giving a person something to control their mind. If they're given drugs, if they're not in a position where they can agree to it, that's where I think it gets a little fuzzy. And see, but the other thing too, Lynette, we know how society is. Let me rephrase it. We know how people are. Oftentimes, people are opportunistic. So they see a person that's down. They see an opportunity to jump on, to make some money. They're gonna do it. But when it was happening, they were happy, enjoying themselves to be at a Diddy party, and we know that happens, and that's what's unfortunate. I would say probably 80% of those people, especially the ones you talked about that were victimized and non-victimized and victimized again, re-victimized. If Diddy pulled up in the car right now, pulled up in front of their house in the Maybach, saying, and I have the baby oil in the front seat, do you want to go to another Diddy party? They would say yes, because people love to be in that element. They love to be around celebrity and the whole nine. Again, just to reiterate, where I draw the line is when you have to give someone something to have them lose control of their faculties and not be able to make decisions on their own, unless we're drinking together and non-consensual. Now, if we both drinking the goose juice, the Grey Goose, and we both lose it, it's on.
Yeah, no, I'm a little bit different.
Yeah.
Like, my thing is, so first thing is the underage girls. Like,
different.
I don't agree with that part. So he get what he get when it comes to that. But like with the women that are, of consenting age, like if they weren't forced or whatever like that, don't care about that either. But there is a thing that I've heard, and I don't know if it's true because I wasn't there. Speaking of wasn't there, wait, let me get to this real quick. Hey, Stace, do you remember when we went to Uptown Records?
Yeah.
And we spoke to Puff?
Yeah, I remember.
What did he say?
I
He was
remember.
like, and this is before he was Diddy.
Yeah, I remember that.
You remember? Yo, y'all want to come to it? Now we had already shopped this record, right?
The demo, yep.
Y'all want to come to this party tonight? Big Daddy Kane gonna be there, LL gonna be there, this person, that person gonna be. We like, no, bro, we came here to shop this record. you know what I mean, you're not interested in the record, what we gonna go party with you for? You
Right.
get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But back to
right. Somebody said that night.
Y'all would have went. Y'all might have been victims.
No, but
Right,
listen what Tony Simmons said. Tony Simmons said people love that life. And that's what Terry is saying now. Some people, when they were shopping and looking for those deals, they would have took them up on that offer to be in that element.
Bro, if you ain't like our music, what we partnering with you for? Like,
right.
And that was before he was Diddy too.
Correct.
But still, you know what I mean?
Right.
My problem is, so if you getting people high that aren't homosexual, right? And you are what's the word?
Taking advantage
of them, then I got a big problem with that. Yeah. And then especially taping it to blackmail people.
Right. Yeah. You know, that's just wrong. Yeah.
Man, that's wild right there. Like,
absolutely.
So go ahead.
Yeah. So what I want to change is in school that they have life courses to talk about these situations, to talk about being taken advantage of, even if it's just an all-female class, because women throw themselves as celebrities, right?
Right. Yeah.
They want to be there, you know, even if things happen that's not supposed to. I'm not condoning none of that. But then my other issue is speak up. Don't wait 20 years later or 80 years later to talk about it. Right. Like even with Bill Cosby, that woman kept coming back to the house several times, and now she got paid off because it benefited you, because you wanted that job, because you wanted that song, because you wanted this, and you're getting that. You're willing to sell your soul to get it.
Right.
So I just have a problem with, you know, I advocate for my women, but at the same time, some of that stuff kind of pisses me off. You know what I mean? Of course, taking advantage of even the underage. Where are your parents?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Some of them at the party. Oh, you pushing that edging them on. Yeah, he gonna put you
Where
on.
was Usher's parents? Where was what's the white boy?
Bieber.
Where was his parents?
He sent him there. Remember, the parents sent him there. If you sell your soul, you'll sell your kids, and that's what they were doing.
Usher get custody of Justin Bieber, and he was a kid himself.
Right.
Exactly.
So where are these parents at? These parents should be held.
They saw an opportunity.
Absolutely. Especially if the children are minor.
Right.
Exactly. Absolutely.
So Lynette, what is your response then?
Whew.
As long as it's not
like Franchella said, you know, sometimes I advocate for women, and I feel my heart goes out to anybody who's been a victim of sexual, you know, violence, or in any way physical violence as well. Sometimes though, I have to say that we have to be accountable when we get re-victimized.
Right.
You know, once a person does something to you, it's like shame on them.
Right.
But once you keep allowing them to do it to you, what do they say now? Shame on. Exactly.
Right.
And you would hate to even think like that, but I just don't think that you continuously put yourself in that person's presence, knowing what this person is. Now, some people say, oh, I was afraid to leave, or I was scared, or they might do something to me, you know. So there's all different types of reasons why people stay. But at the same time, I don't take the blame off of the perpetrator. So that's not what I'm doing. But what I'm saying is, women, just like Franchella said, if you find yourself in these situations, you have to tell somebody, and you have to get out, because not only are you helping yourself be free from that violence, you're helping other people who that person may not be able to do it to after you.
And not just they're men too.
Right.
Like, look at
men too. And
and Rick Ross and all.
Now I have a question. Lorraine Graves said Diddy World, and I don't know what she means by that. So in the chat, I wish she could elaborate what she means by Diddy's World. I don't know what she means. Tony said Diddy is a nut, but so are the women. He seems to be agreeing with what you said, Lynette. Tony said Diddy is a nut, but so are the women. And then he said what you said, TL. Underage women is out of the question, and I agree with that totally. But I think that the Lynette, I think what you said was profound. But what happens is, as a result of the legal system, it gets fuzzy, because then where do you draw the line? One time you do it, okay, I get it. But if you go back, then what is the number? Is the number if you do it 3 times that, you know what I mean? The legal system makes it fuzzy, because now you have lawyers step in, and now you have those mitigating circumstances. Well, she, like you said, Franchella, she feared for her life. How do you argue against that? You know what I mean? How do you argue that I kept going back because I feared for my life? Again, we know that oftentimes people are in those positions because they like the limelight, and there's nothing wrong with that. But be accountable. If you were at the party greased up because you enjoyed being there, then stand on that. But don't, now that you see that the man is down and you see an opportunity to jump in this class action lawsuit to make some money, that is unfair totally. All right, Lorraine, she just responded. They wanted to be in the in crowd. That's exactly right. That's what I just said. I agree with that totally.
Right.
And notice how all of these celebrities are so quiet, right?
So let's
about the situation.
True.
And some of them were involved as well. Yeah.
Other shoes are gonna fall.
Yeah,
I mean, a lot of people was involved, but some were there just to party.
Right.
So like now, people getting locked up for partying. Unless they was involved and they knew about underage women or actually giving them drugs. But everybody, especially during Bill Cosby time, everybody did roofies and drugs, and like that was just the way. Like, and
that's like now.
But here's the thing: it's just every time a black man is trying to get ahead on something, a story comes out about him. I think when Bill Cosby was trying to buy, I think CBS, he was trying to get one of the major networks, and then this all fell.
With this thing with Diddy, this has been going on for years. Like I said, this is years,
so,
and they knew about it. But the thing is, Diddy, I think, pissed off the wrong people.
Right.
You know what I mean? When he sued that liquor company for
Diablo
in that case. Yeah. So I'm only speculating, but I think that has a lot to do with it, where he might have bit the hand that fed him. You know what I mean? That sort of deal.
And on the flip side of that, though, is if you don't give them anything to go on, if you're not living that foul lifestyle, then they can't say anything if you're not living a certain way.
You can live that foul lifestyle, but you have to be smart about it. Again, everybody wants the attention, including Diddy. So he got cocky. He started filming it. He started, getting too cocky, getting too full of himself, and now he's paying the price for it. It's okay to live a foul lifestyle. It's been happening for years. My point is that as a consenting adult, if you want to attend those types of functions, there's nothing wrong with that, but you have to go about it the right way. And he got cocky and overconfident, and now he's paying the price for it. If he didn't tell everybody, or if he didn't have cameras in there and all that other kind of nonsense,
nobody, you can't, no evidence. You put evidence on yourself.
Underage girls.
Say that.
Well, that part too, though, Night.
It was basically
that's the foul part I'm talking about.
Yeah, that part is different. That part is, I don't mean that part.
I think that's where the majority of the trouble is going to lie for him, but I don't that's just speculation.
But honestly, right? Half of these young girls look older than I do, right?
Right.
100%. You don't know if they you don't go around, which you need to today, but I don't think back then, or going around, let me see your driver's license. If she says she's 25, she's 25, right? Like nobody really knows if somebody is.
Franchella, wait a minute though, Franchella. Rarely have I met a 16-year-old woman, 16-year-old girl, and thought she was 25. So
have you seen these young girls?
No. Not 25.
I have seen some.
Well, I mean, I use 24. What's the legal age? 18? 18 is the legal age? Okay,
so what I'm gonna say to that is that, again, you have to be a little smarter. If you're questioning, okay, you know what?
But I said nobody questions that. That's the problem. Nowadays, you have to question it. Back during our time in the 80s, nobody was questioning how old, except if you were going to the club and then everybody had an ID, fake ID, right? Yeah. So nobody's really questioning. But let's move on because I got my diva sitting in the queue because she had
to go to a different topic.
Yes. So we're gonna move on because we know if Diddy start naming people, Trump got to be on that list. So I'm just saying.
I would not be surprised.
Yes.
So we're gonna shift the topics to the debate, to the presidential debate that occurred, the vice president and the president. So you're gonna bring up a young lady who wants to join in the conversation about the presidential debate. So one of the things that I don't like that it seems like that's happening after the debate or one of the things that I wrestle with is the fact that they're making it seem like it's a game to win as opposed to a presidential election. You know, it's like, oh, I won. It's not a game to win.
Right.
That's because it's all theater.
And it is a buffoonery. And it's so upsetting and degrading to the United States of America that everything they do, it seems like it's I'm one up. Oh, I'm one up. Oh, I'm one up. Oh, I'm one up. It's not a game. Like it's not a game.
Right. So before we get started, let's acknowledge our guest. Gigi, I call her AKA Ritzy. She's one of my diva sisters.
Hello.
Hey, Gigi.
Hello.
Welcome to the Real Recognize Real Talk radio show.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you for having me. Thank you so much. I was sitting here listening to y'all's conversation. I don't know if Franchella could see my face because I was going like this, and I was like, no. I was just in the background.
Yes, we were.
Look, she should have brought you on sooner so you could try.
So Gigi, you want to tell us a little something about yourself, or you're here because we're bringing in the new topic about the debate and you had some thoughts on it?
Let me tell you, I am very much involved in this presidential election. I have been since the Orangelini came down the gold stairs, you know. Nice. But when Project 2025 kicked on, I really started digging more into how this was going to affect us as a people, right? And trying to challenge against some of the things that he's stating regarding that. So I literally have the 922 pages in front of me right here that I do read. I go through every night just to, different sections. It's so much information. It's a lot.
Please enlighten us for those who may not.
She's an informed voter.
Right. that part.
And I want to tell you, I didn't start out this way, right? I could say, and I hope a lot of people are listening, I've been that head in the sand up until I was in my mid-30s, not just letting the world pass me by, not really being engaged in politics. And that probably a lot of that had to do with my family not teaching me, right? They didn't take me to the polls. My great-grandmother raised me. I can't even remember ever going. If I did, it might have been once. I think I might have went in there with her, but it was not something that the echelons of my family ever thought important for me to know, right? So we're talking about an aunt who worked with the attorney general, never took me to the polls. My grandmother, who was a nurse, never took me to the polls. My her husband, who was a white police officer, never took me to the polls. So I never knew the value, right, of what my voice and my vote meant until one day I went to dinner with a couple. Me and my spouse went to a dinner with a couple, and she just went off about, Donald Trump and what was happening. And I was really intrigued and saying, wow, I don't think I've really been paying attention.
Right.
And it opened my eyes to know that, look, I live here. I pay taxes. I work. I raise my kids. And it is my duty to do something about that.
So Gigi,
tell us a little bit about the most important things that you read in Project 2025 that has you so passionate about why we should really think about this upcoming election.
There's so many things, Lynette, but one of the things I'm going to bring up is our children. They want to repeal the Board of Education. And if you've heard that is a fact. That is what is in here, because they feel as if that it has too much room for other people to bring information that they don't want, right? So meaning, let's take a good example of what's happening over in, what is the state? The governor who just signed the law about the going in for the children for the Bibles. Did y'all see that?
Oh, I heard about it. I don't remember the state.
Right. So they want to put the Bibles in the school. In the
schools, right. Back in
the
schools.
And those Bibles, the only Bibles that they're willing to bring in are the ones that Trump.
Christian Bibles, right.
Oh, no. It has to be leather bound. It has to be leather bound. It has to be the King James. And it has to have the Bill of Rights, the Constitution in it. And we only know one person who has a Bible that has that information.
Yeah, because the Bible wouldn't have the Bill of Rights or the Constitution.
Right. No, it would not.
Wow.
Can I ask you a question, Gigi?
Yes.
So what do you do when there's no good choice? Right. So this is the first time in 50 years that I'm not voting, right? Because I don't feel that there's a good choice. Trump is not a good choice.
I ask you,
and
what does that mean?
In my opinion, Kamala's not a good choice.
Can you tell me why?
Just because I don't feel that she knows anything about what is needed to run that office, right? Like, for instance, we never even heard anything from Kamala for the 4 years that she was in office until she started running.
You do know that the vice president, is not the president, and she is in step line behind the president. Right? She does not have a voice of her own until she has signed in as the president of the United States.
But she was the border czar, right?
Then we don't have a border czar.
Correct.
That's just a word.
That was her.
No.
The
president. No. Let me tell you what happened.
And the border, people came across the border 4 times more than any presidency.
Okay, let's address.
Can we
one issue at a time?
Well, because the first question that he asked was what was your first question, TL?
He wanted to know what he should do for somebody that doesn't want to vote.
Yes, because there's a lot. I want Gigi to answer that, because there's a lot of people that think the same way that TL does. So why, in your opinion, is it important?
Okay, so I'm going to say, I want to give a pro and a con to that, right? So for someone who feels as if you have a bad and a bad, which I don't know how you could compare Trump to Kamala, because they're way, way up here, right? The difference in just character alone. So you want to put who knows what, this man is never been in government ever before in his life until we voted him in, right? Where she has definitely been, right? She was a lawyer, the attorney general, she was VP, we know, so she knows the laws and the rules of government. He does not. So for me, that's easy. But if you don't want to use those, let's look at the character of the person, not her being a female or him a male, but the character of a person. Someone who would intentionally try to cause discord between people. We were told, I remember as a child, do not go into a theater screaming fire, because you could get in a lot of trouble doing that. But yet this man continues to lie and cause issues that now have Haitian immigrants in other states now can't take their children to school. They can't go outside and walk like they used to. These are the types of things for me. The fact that y'all, prior y'all were talking about children. Have you heard some of the things that he has said about his own child as she was growing up? I wouldn't want that type of person as a president, because he is teaching. I don't know if you could read my hat. We have taught our children not to lie. We punish them for lying. We have spanked them in the past for lying. But this man, who was the president of the United States, has continuously lied about almost anything that comes out of his face, any chance that he gets. So for me, the answer is simple. But I also tell people this. If for some reason you feel like that's still a struggle for you, we've given him a chance. Why not give her one? Because in 4 years, you could fire her too. But let's not put in somebody that we know has been the type of man, and I say that lightly, who has done the things to this country and to people as he has.
What's your response to that, Terry?
Well, my response to that is
she answered your question.
Right. She answered my question, but there's still no good choice. So my thing is,
you only have one. The thing is, you only have one.
But what do you think about what she said, though? You asked her.
Wait. So if you let's say you were trying to commit suicide, that's like, okay, am I going to slit my wrist or am I going to cut my throat? You know what I'm saying? Either way.
So even with what Gigi said, though, Terry, I have a question for you. Did you, with what Gigi said, though? Let's just talk about the character issue. Is there a difference between Donald Trump and Kamala Harris? Just looking at character alone.
Yeah, Donald Trump, he's a piece of shit.
Okay, is Kamala Harris a piece of crap? Character-wise.
She's not a piece of shit that I know. I don't know her personally. And
we all know Donald Trump.
We all know he is.
Right.
But listen, let me finish. Let me answer your question. I don't think that she is capable of running the country, especially in the climate that we have now. You got China, you got Russia, you got the Ukraine situation, you got all of these other things that she has absolutely no experience dealing with.
So you changed the reason.
Right, because that's not what you said.
Like, the first reason was the first reason was what did he say the first time that you responded to?
How did I
two bad choices. Right. But now you're saying,
how am I changing the reason?
Because the first time you said there are no good choices. Now you're saying she doesn't have the experience to run the country. Well, okay,
he doesn't either.
Let me ask you this though.
She reminds me of somebody.
He doesn't either.
She reminds me of somebody's drunk auntie at the cookout.
Why is she drunk?
But I think what I think it really is.
You know she's a woman.
I'm just not with that. Like,
no, you know what I think it really is.
Placate to black people when we haven't heard from you the whole time you was in office.
But I always try to hear people out and get to the core of their why. You know, the why of behaviors or the why of their thought process.
He wanted her as the other queen.
Huh?
He wanted her as his other queen. No,
right. He doesn't see that woman in a leadership role because of how he thinks about the women as submissive and
Is that it, Terry?
So I think it has a lot to do with his judgment of her based on his thought process of the role of women.
That's not true, because I voted for Hillary Clinton.
But I'm trying to understand his stance.
Wait, that's not true. That what you're saying is not
enlighten
true.
us.
So yeah,
then give us a. If that's not the case, then give us a valid something that an evidence-based fact as to why you feel the way you do about Kamala.
That she's not qualified.
Exactly.
I don't think she's
Evidence-based.
But what do you say that she's not qualified?
Right.
Because she couldn't even do the border thing.
You keep talking about
that was one of her only jobs when she was vice president.
You know what she did?
According to,
can I chime in?
Yes, and notice everybody, we're just giving our opinions. We're not up Terry.
Y'all are beating up
Yeah.
Terry.
No, I'm beating him up. I'm beating him
I'm beating him up too. So
That's my brother. I'm beating him up. Okay, Terry. Do you realize, do you realize that they
we got him smoking on live? We got him nervous. Go ahead.
Yeah. Do you realize that a deal was negotiated, led by one of the most conservative leaders in the House? It was
bipartisan
on the border.
bipartisan.
Right, correct. Bipartisan. It was the Democrats really didn't like the deal because it was leaning so far to the right, and that was a deal that was negotiated by the Democrats and the Republicans, but and which Kamala Harris was a part of the administration, and it was killed by Trump. So but listen, let me finish. So if you said that one of her duties that Biden asked her to address really was to go to the Southern American countries to go to talk to them, what she did. But if they negotiated that deal and the deal was a good deal and would have really helped stem the people coming into the country, but it was killed by Donald Trump, how do you address that? If she did what they told her to do,
killed by Donald Trump.
because as you know from the civics classes, one person can't just wave a wand and make a deal go through. It has to go through the Congress, and the Republicans in the Congress voted against the deal. So had that deal passed, let's say 50% of the people. Let me finish. Had that deal passed, maybe let's just say 50% of the people that came in wouldn't have made it. But Trump did that to make them look bad. How do you respond to that? You can't put that on her. She negotiated a deal.
And to be honest with you, I think all of his wives are foreigners. Right? So what we really talking about? If we'd closed the border on them, they would like, what we really talking about? Like that's the part you gotta really think about when the stuff come out this man's mouth. Like half of it don't make sense.
There is no border czar. That was something that the Republicans made up, and technically anything that has to do with the border comes from Homeland Security.
Right.
Yeah. So this is something that they continue.
She wasn't the head of that department.
No.
She was not. That is Homeland Security. Correct. That is not her.
Administration.
She came into play when it had to do with trying to negotiate what to do in the background. Correct. Not that. Now, she did visit the borders. She did do that. She visited a couple of times.
She went to South America.
Right.
Well,
so
all I'm going by is what I heard.
Look it up.
They were like,
don't listen to what you heard. Fact check.
Look
it up.
Please.
I mean, you can look it up. I'm not making stuff up.
October 21st is the last day to register to vote. We want y'all to make sure you get out there and exercise your right to vote.
I have two things to say. Leah Wilford said she comes across acting black.
What is that?
That's what she's. I'm reading Leah's statement.
Oh, she reading somebody in the comments. This is what they said.
She comes across acting black. One, if she is, she doesn't have to. I don't.
Is she saying that's what he said? Is she saying that's what he said?
Okay.
That's the thing that turns a lot of people off, because all of a sudden now you're cooking collard greens in the bathtub. Or you out here in these streets.
Okay,
I don't want my president out here in these streets.
Though?
Right, let's define that.
Leah said that.
Leah, the question to you is, what is acting black, Leah?
And I say that because my children were raised in predominantly white areas when we lived in Georgia. And my cousins used to say all the time, why does he talk white? What is talk white? Yeah. Just like I said, what is acting black? Right? I don't understand that. Proper English is not acting white. Just like if you have some slang, that's what acting black. Right. I'm like, I don't understand that. And how is it that black people, right? We're saying African American people could look at her and she's biracial because she's Indian and Jamaican and say she's not black enough.
Right.
Like
I don't understand.
My thing is this. Why even put race in the mix at all? Right? Why even put race in the mix at all? Why is it so important whether the person is white, black, Asian?
Well, I think. Can I say something? I think. Right. I think number one is brought up because she married a white man. So people will look at her to think that she's not black enough because she married a white man. But you know, that's when everything came into play of proving, I guess, her blackness. But it's not her saying all this stuff. It's everybody around.
Everybody else.
Right.
And
It
saying
is her saying
she
this
went
stuff.
to an
She was on the-
HBCU school. She's a Delta. I mean, a AKA. Like,
She
I
was
don't
on the
understand
I think it was the
Well, what
Grammys
difference
or
does
or
it
the
make?
Oscars or something, talking
He's
to
white.
Taraji Henson.
Right. What difference does it
P.
make?
Henson talking about she out here in these streets. Like what? You out here in
And
these
he's
streets?
out, he out
was
here in these
raised
streets
in the
too,
lower
wearing
parts
Michael
of
Jordan, Chuck
California.
Jordan. Like, and you know what I'm saying?
Terry,
Like,
I have one question for you. I have one question for you also, Terry.
Right.
So do you think our ancestors, and I mean, I guess you can't call them ancestors because this was in the 60s. Well, not
Yeah,
even just that.
ancestors in the
No, that's what I'm
60s.
saying.
Yeah,
No, do you think that in the past, those that came before us, do you think they had it wrong? Do you think that they had it wrong fighting for the right to vote? Did they have it all wrong?
No, they had it absolutely right.
But you,
back
but
then,
But you don't want to
now
vote.
let me finish.
okay, go
Back
ahead.
then, they had quality candidates to vote from.
You think
Terry,
so? What
they-
no.
but Terry,
Not
they
all of them.
fought for the right to vote, though. Not to just, they didn't fight for the right to only
Right.
choose the
And
right.
I appreciate my right to vote. And I also appreciate having a good candidate or someone that I believe in order to
But you gotta at least vote for one of
like
those
when
candidates.
Obama ran, I was all in.
You have to
Right.
vote for the lesser. You have to vote for the lesser of the evil. You have to vote for the lesser of the evil because
Lesser of two
it
evils. What is that?
you
Well, there's no such
cannot-
thing as perfection.
right.
Nobody's
Perfection, but
perfect. Who was the
it has-
perfect president,
I
Terry?
haven't had-
So
I
a
haven't heard
non-vote-
Wait. I haven't heard either candidate say anything about actual policy.
See,
It's
now,
always name
both of y'all
calling.
did the same
It's
thing.
always name calling and like-
She's not doing no name
You
calling.
have gone into the
You know
real
what?
radio
The debate,
show,
TL,
Terry,
Harry, did you watch the debate? That's all she talked about was policy. He talked about crap.
He
I
said
did
he
watch
has
the
a
debate.
concept
I
of a
was not-
policy.
I wasn't-
she said,
He has
Tony
a real
said,
policy.
Tony said, just say you a Trump man.
Right. You might as well.
Make
I
it
would
better
never
than
vote
Lady
for
Jane.
Trump
is the vote for the
I would
person
never
you don't
vote
want
for
in
Trump
office,
either.
either
He
way.
ain't shit either.
This is a man. Okay, so let me say this to you, Terry, and for real, we really got to make this serious because at the end of the day, if Trump gets back in office, he is going to execute this
fault.
922 pages, which is going to throw us all the way back to where you was talking about. We are going to go back to slavery. They are going to go back to no, this isn't funny. You think
Right.
you
It's
don't
not.
think that them starting out with women's reproductive rights is a way to get into that? When you start
Control
removing
power and
women's
control.
rights, you have already started removing everything because now they want to monitor children's periods. You want to say if I could be period. How many of us have to die because we've had a tubal ligation, because we have a pregnancy in our tube, because we've had a miscarriage and we can't even get a DNC? Something that nuns did back in the day is a DNC, and they won't even let us have that.
Right.
Did 2 women die just because they couldn't get a DNC?
I understand your point, but my point is like, so that has nothing to do with the president. Like the president.
Yes, it does.
No, that comes
Because
from
he's
the
pushing
Supreme
these.
Court.
He is
That comes
pushing
from
his
the
agenda.
Supreme
Who
Court.
puts the
That comes
So
from the
one of the
Supreme
things
Court.
that I really want us to do is I want us to do our research
Right.
before
Please.
Yes.
we
Yes, do
form
your
an
research.
opinion.
Because abortion
Please do your research for
Abortion
everybody
what? I
out
want to know
there.
what he said about abortion.
comes
Abortion
from
what?
those rulings come from the Supreme Court.
Who put him in place?
And he put
put
the
it-
Supreme
Who
Court
put him in there, Terry?
He did, but
Right.
he
And,
did,
and
and I wouldn't vote for him
Obama
either.
couldn't even get one because they blocked him. So
Right.
that goes, and that
What
because
I'm saying
really
is,
gotta
I
do
wouldn't
the
vote for him
research.
either.
To make an
Because
informed
of the
decision
president.
about
So it does make a difference, though, Nike. You're proving our point. It makes a
you have
difference.
definitely proven it. And if you don't vote up and down, that's what you're going to get. The reason Obama couldn't get nothing passed is because we decided to vote for him and forget we needed to vote the next time. We
Right.
didn't go back as usual
because sometimes
You
we
know
listen
that
to the
there's
conversations that
there's
people
no
are
real
saying instead
difference
of doing the
between
research for
Democratic and
ourselves.
the Republican
And we
Party.
base our opinions based on those things, which we shouldn't. We should make informed decisions by first doing the research for ourselves. So we encourage everybody out there to do the research for yourselves on both candidates so that you know 100% with 100% or maybe 99.9%, whatever the accuracy rate is. Don't just listen to us. Don't just listen to what y'all
listen to my ass.
mainstream media.
Runs the country.
And you can look me up because I got the book.
Gigi,
People believe
Gigi,
that
where can people find that that information? Project 2025.
You can Google Project 2025 and it will allow you to download. If you want to read it, it will allow you to download it. Okay, so you can read it on your, anything that has where you can upload the document. And if you want to print it, took me a day and a half to print all this, but I'm just saying. It is out here. The information is out here. You just take the time to read it and stop listening to all these propaganda news stations.
Please.
Like if you continue getting fed with that's exactly what you're going to believe. I don't just read. I just don't listen to them. I listen to them to hear their perspective, but I listen to things that I know and I read and I research.
And you can
That's
research.
As Wendell Hurd said, as Wendell Hurd just said, who appoints the judges to the Supreme Court? So I'm sure that we're going to continue, TL, this argument in
this conversation,
our group chat.
Hey, let me ask you a question. Have either of you or any of you heard of the WEF or the Bilderberg Group?
Uh-oh.
Or the Rothschilds?
Uh-oh.
Rothschilds.
Is the earth flat?
No, the earth ain't flat. But what I'm saying is the president doesn't run the country. The military-industrial complex runs.
But you just blaming Kamala. She's a vice president for not being You be contradicting yourself over and over and over again. And I expect you not to probably be on the show anymore because you will not get a second woman in your house the way you talk.
No, that's not true, Jay. That's your opinion.
All of us are entitled to our opinion, whether we agree or disagree. But it makes for a good conversation. It needs to be had because there's people watching this that have the same mindset.
Absolutely.
So it's a good dialogue. So you got to do your research. I have more questions, but it's 8:07, and we don't want to. The message in this whole conversation is get out there and vote, but do your research. If you're on the fence about it, make sure you do your research so that you can make an informed decision. It is important.
At the end of the day, I'm sorry, Black women, Black mothers are the backbone to the family. We've been strong since slavery. We've been holding it down for the families.
Hours and theirs.
Out there doing something you ain't supposed to be doing as a man. We will find out. We are smarter than an average Joe. So I'm just saying.
Absolutely.
I'm just saying.
Right. Guys, I was going to ask you about child support and how
No, we can move that to the next one. So any closing words, everybody got some closing words?
Yeah, any closing words?
My closing words is get out there and vote, but do your research. If you're on the fence and you're thinking you don't want to vote for the presidential candidate that you think will be the best for this country. We only got two options.
And register, check your registration. If you've moved recently, please make sure you have registered in your current county. Get all your stuff in a line. Continue to check your registration because they are good for purging people off. I check weekly.
October 21st is the deadline to register. So make sure it's this month, October 21st.
Go on.
Make sure you do it.org.
Gigi.
Yes, sir.
Your closing words, your closing remarks.
Vote your interests, vote your children's interests, vote your grandchildren's interests, because at the end of the day, I'm not having no more kids. Everything is locked down here. But it's not about me, right? It's about my children and their children. This is important. This is our life. This is our future. So it is very important that you do what's right. If you feel like you are staggering between the two, it shouldn't be a choice because that man is a psycho. And if you think that saying they're eating the pets, they're eating the cats, they're eating the dogs, that's somebody you want as your president, then maybe you need to go somewhere else.
Right, Franchella, closing remarks.
Yes, my remarks is please do your research, get out there and vote. Because if he gets into office, he has mentioned it, we will have a day of purging.
That's it.
Y'all watch the movie, right? He said all we need is one day.
One day of violence.
That's it. One day.
TL, no closing remarks for you, so I'm gonna go now. And I'm just gonna go ahead, Nike.
Oh wow. Okay.
Go ahead, Nike.
Yo, I'm not against anybody's right to vote.
Absolutely.
You had to do what you feel. But I would also encourage us as Black people to do more research and not just go like not just go with the like the sheep mentality. Everybody heard it together. We have to, like I said, check out the World Economic Forum, the WEF. Check out the Bilderberg Group. Look at some of the stuff. That's who runs the country. When they talk about that 1%, that's what I'm talking about. The 1% runs the country.
All right.
The politics is only used to divide us.
Yeah, cut him off like you cut everybody else off, Stacey.
Okay, no, I was about to jump in now. So Gigi, I wanted to thank you for joining us today. We enjoyed it. I'm glad you brought that information in. And my closing words, I just want to say, thank you for everybody that tuned in. But also, I want to echo what everyone said. Do your own research. But Terry, I do want to specifically thank you, though, because sometimes it's not easy to go against the grain. I joke and play around with you like that because you're my brother, so I don't worry about it. But, if that is your belief, you stand on it. But then I do want to echo what Franchella said. Everyone do your research. And my personal opinion is that voting is too important to not exercise that right. So do your research and get out there and vote for the person that best represents your principles. There is no such thing as perfection, but I think it's important to exercise that right. So we want to thank everybody for joining in.
Thank you,
we'll see you all second Tuesday of next month, right?
Every second Tuesday of the month at 7 p.m. we're on again. So
yes.
Happy birthday to all the October birthday people.
And if you listen, and if anyone has subject suggestions, send them to the link, and we'll gladly start see if we can work them in.
I think we have a very good show this week.
He turns 80. He turns 80 on the 21st of October. So happy birthday!
Happy birthday!
All right. Good night, everyone.
Good night. Until next time.
Peace.
We all.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you.